Absolutely. Justin, this has been amazing advice you've been giving us. I was open about my own challenges, and I had my own therapy session yesterday, and I feel like I've even gotten a second one for complimentary one this week from you through this, and I'm sure others that are that are watching this too have gotten a lot of information. So thank you. Is there anything else that you feel like you want to share with people? Just any other insights about mental health or things right now as people kind of go through this uncharted territory that we're in?
Yeah, well, I was thinking, John, when you and I chatted earlier, you mentioned this hypochondriacs or hypochondriacs.
Oh, yes. Sorry. Yeah.
It's fine. No, I was just thinking about that a little bit. So I thought I'd just mention kind of the basics. So something that can be helpful if we can be what we might call hypochondriac, which is typically believing that something is wrong with us physically or medically that isn't, right? And worrying excessively about things that may be happening. So it can be helpful to look. Sure, it's a lot of people. It's really common. I think it's actually 1 to 5% of the population. Actually,
wow,
it's a lot of people, tons of people, millions of people. So look at the evidence, right? Take a step back and see if you can kind of play detective. Try to look objectively at your situation. Sometimes it's helpful to kind of pretend that you are advising a friend who's having these strange symptoms that might be happening with you. You might ask yourself, what's the evidence that supports the idea that I've got this COVID-19 illness? What's the evidence? What's actually here? What do I know, right? And then it's looking at, make sure to, like we talked about, limit your exposure to the news, which can often highlight the worst of what's happening, the most sensational stories, with all due respect. If you can, get checked out by your doctor, right? To just rule out that there's something actually happening with you. It's good to get checked out. And right now it looks like many of us are having to do telehealth only, but your doctor is accessible to you, absolutely, if only to do a virtual session. So be willing to reach out. Remind yourself that you won't ever know for sure that your health is perfect. We have to learn to live with that uncertainty, as we really do with all the other unknowns, right? So living with uncertainty. Try to be really kind to yourself for the distress that you're feeling when you're worried about something happening with you. Be kind and gentle with yourself rather than being critical or judgmental with yourself. And of course, seeking professional help as needed. There are certainly therapists who specialize in hypochondriasis, although you don't necessarily need a specialist in this, but you can talk to a therapist online and see if they would be the right resource for you.